crafty friends, it's Sharon Luska here from My Crafty Greetings, and we are going to do a Scrappy Tales video, but I know I've been missing for a month and I thought I'd show you some of what's going on. We have had unusually high amounts of rain here in Canada, and our little lake on our property has breached its walls or breached its edge, and it is just going everywhere. As you know, I have a sad little back that doesn't function the greatest at most of the time, and when we have a lot of rain and a lot of kind of heavy overcast skies, it really does kick my butt. That, accompanied by lots of adulting, has kept me from my craft room, which is a sad event for sure. And my little fishies are getting all washed out. They're just doing everything they can to stay in all of this water. Naturally, it doesn't flow normally over the road, but you know, here we are. Here's this little guy racing his way back. He's doing the best he can to get back to where he wants to be, just like me racing my way to try and get back to my craft room. But yeah, there's usually quite a bit of grass around the front part of our pond or lake, whatever it's designated as. And you can see the bushes do not naturally grow out of the water, nor does this go up to the edge of the major roadway by us. So we're still working on flowers. I love these Blooms Trio sets. There's 3 different types here. The Retro Happy Birthday, which is gorgeous, and the stitched daisies, as well as the I Love You Mom blooms. They have so many unbelievably wonderful pieces that come from these sets that can make unbelievably amazing flowers. I love them so much. Plus, they have the sentiments in them. But if you have flowers at home, you may have things similar that you can use, or just to give you some ideas of what to do. Now, paper is all different. If you have solid core paper, i.e. paper that doesn't show white when it's ripped, this is a good technique. You'll have to test it out. This is, I think, 80-pound paper. It's nothing special. It's just what was in my stash. But one of the things you can do with flowers is wet them and give them a good scrunch. And sometimes when you do wet them, re-wetting them and giving them another scrunch will also add to the texture and technique. Now, the whole thing with this is to be gentle. Be kind to your paper. It's delicate when it's wet. And I know sometimes the tendency is to just pull, and you do have to kind of fiddle it apart and tease it apart. So now what I'm doing with this is, rather than just scrunching it in a ball, I'm actually actively pushing these petals kind of into themselves so that they have a little bit more directional crunch. Because once you've broken the fibers of the paper with the first kind of squish, this is going to give you a little bit of a better go when it comes to the second one. And you can do amazing things with wetting paper. And one of the nice things is, once paper has been wet, it becomes amazing to spitball it at your dog. No, I'm just kidding. Once paper's been wet and then it dries, it actually has a durability that is beyond what we normally have when sculpting paper. So just remember that a little bit of water on paper can do all kinds of great things, including rumple it up and make it not lay flat. But in this time, we really want to do that. And you can see my little trick too that I did with the tweezers. Cheap tweezers, just give it a little twist and it's great. Now I'm going to show you something. I saw a commercial with some lady standing in front of some artwork, and they was like, hey, I'm going to do that for my card. So simple. Regular paper, any kind of brush, some distress inks, any color that you want, and all you're going to do is just sweep some lines. They don't have to be even, they don't have to be perfect, they don't even necessarily have to be straight. This is a great technique for beginners. It's fabulous if you do it in like blues or greens, or you can even do it in rainbow colors, whatever you like. But the whole thing is to make it sketchy and rough looking. You can add some splatters. If there's some loops, just go right ahead. Now, I also grabbed this gorgeous set here. It's the A7 birthday book cover plate die set. I love it. It's got these gorgeous arches, and the one's got like these little dots, and you can layer them, and then this swirly outside, and then it says hope your birthday is one for the books, which is so fun. And then it also comes with the butterflies and the butterfly bodies. Great die set. I love it. So I cut it here with gold frame, and then the piece that we made, and then it's just Nina Solar White 80 pound. I did 2 layers of it to kind of stiffen it up a bit. And then what I do is I go around the outside of it and very quickly across the inside of it. And this is just art glitter glue that I have. And then if you're wanting to do the swirls, look at the swirls that have the loose ends and just do a dot on them. You don't have to go crazy covering everything, although you can if you want to use like the two-sided tape method and then run it through after you've added it to your paper, so that you can peel off a non-stick back and reveal the sticky. You could do that, but it's not necessary. This stuff's like gonna stay down really, really well all on its own. And I love the white on white. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, if you do find a little piece that's kind of flappy, a dot of glue behind it, hold it down, you will be good to go. Always remember to make sure your fingers are clean if you're gonna do that. So I have my With Sympathy that comes from the A7 seashell frames set. And then I also have these centers that come from the I Love You Mom blooms. And these are so fabulous. And I used a size smaller than the flowers are themselves. But you can see how stiff these are. I pushed on them and everything, and they are just going to stay exactly like they are. So we'll glue them together. And they're fully dried, so even though they're dimensional, they'll have no problem grabbing with the art glitter glue. Just give them a good little bit of a push, and that's all they need. And a reasonable amount. You don't need to overload the glue on them, but they will stick together no problem. But they're gonna hold that dimension even through the mail, which is so nice, isn't it? Because most of the time everything gets squished. So I'm just gonna bend up the sides of these so that they can actually sit down inside those flowers. And don't worry about that little gloop of goo, or the gloop of glue. It'll just dry clear, and it's not super shiny and it's not super matte, but it looks beautiful when it's finally dried out on your paper. It doesn't cause a problem. Now, I don't know if you're like me. I get the leaves and I can't decide exactly where I want them or the flowers. So I'm like moving them all over the place. And that is the best thing I can say with this card making is audition, audition, audition. Try things. Get brave, get bold, get brazen. Don't be afraid of your card, because you know what? It is only paper, just like Justine Hovey says, it's only paper, you know, and if you make a card and it's not exactly what you love after you've made it, guess what? You learned something, because then you're going to learn to make it better next time. And when I started out, I copied cards. Please go ahead and copy my cards if you're going to show them in a video or show them in a photo online. I love it if you would take the time to give me some credit for having inspired you, but you know, just get in there and try. That's the biggest thing I can say about learning making cards. So I'm using my trick here where I have already put Tombow Mono Multi on the back in little tiny dots and let it dry. That way there's no way it can squish out. And then I use a piece of clear plastic and just grab the edge of my word, and I can position it and stick it down. So now I'm digging through my Scrappy Tails bin. Did you know her embellishments are under $4 and it's a generous bag? Like, that is a crazy deal. And they are so nice. She's got such a selection. You really have to check it out. And if she has a sale going on, or like, I think if it's your first order, you'll still get 10% off or something. These are like crazy inexpensive. So I've got them all situated here, and you can see how nice this is. No matter what you have for flowers, give it a try. Wetting some paper, test a little kind of scrap of the paper first, wet it, crunch it, see what it looks like, and it'll give you a new option with all your flower cuts, die cuts, punches, whatever you want to do. So this is the stitched daisy flowers, and you know, this one goes up to 3 inches across. Like, it's amazing. 3 different sizes, 3 inches across. And what I'm doing is I'm folding in between the petals. Now there's an even number of petals, so you can do that with this particular die. And then what I'm doing is using the stitched lines to fold the opposite way to crease each petal. And so this is going to give us mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain, valley with our flowers. And then what I'm going to do is slit right to the center. And then on this one, I'm going to slit to the center, but I'm also going to take out, I'm going to pleat it first. And then the next one, I'm going to take out a couple petals. But you can see here that I don't know, accordion fold. I was gonna say, what kind of fold is this? And I'm like, duh, brain cells, hello. So anyways, here I am. I'm gonna take out 2 petals just because the 2 full flowers is a little too much. And again, I'm accordion folding. Now I did this with the larger flowers so that it was a little bit easier for you to watch me do it. And sorry about the chunk out of my thumb. I wasn't feeling good, and I was using a very sharp knife, and yeah, there was a piece of me in the salad. Just kidding. I caught it before it got in the salad, but yeah, I lost a chunk of me. So sorry, you have to look at it. Anyways, I put a little bit of glue on the petals here, and I'm just gonna take them and I'm gonna line them up. They don't have to be perfect. Nobody's gonna notice. Line them up. Just binder clip them together, and then go and complete the circle by putting a little bit of glue on the other exposed petal and line it up, and take one more binder clip and clip it together. Binder clips are awesome. So I have 2 flowers here that I prepped already, but I'm just going to show you quickly. I'm just doing a fast little kind of reinforcement of the stitch lines as a fold, and then I use my already dirty blending brushes with a little bit of this distressed refresher, and give your brushes a little squirt with that, and it reactivates that ink, and you can just go ahead and use it. It really doesn't matter how exact we are with our colors. I know sometimes we get to be a little bit like purists, but honestly, we are not setting colors of the year ourselves. We are not trying to match things so that our anime is uniform all the way through, or that if we're coloring a couch that our colors are accurate. But you know what I'm saying is just enjoy your supplies. Don't stress out so much about being perfect. So this was my point, is you can see I ink blended this so that it was green, and this is making the center of our flower. Now these other really cool die cuts here, they are amazing, and I'm layering 2 of them, one darker, one lighter. So all I did was ink blended, and they're 2 of the same color, but what I did was ink blended on one so that it was slightly more dark green. I've got my pleated piece underneath, and then I'm gonna put this awesome center piece that she has as part of this die set. You may have a die like this already, or you may have a punch like this already. If you don't, sincerely, take a look at these dies that she has, because they are such crazy complete sets. It's ridiculous. Now I've got one of my cool backgrounds that I have kicking around my craft room, and I have these swirly dies. I can't tell you where I got them, but I wish Sabrina would make us more swirly dies, because gee, these are so awesome. And then I also have leaves here that I cut from the I think they're from the Mother's Day set, I Love You Mom set. Well, anyways, they're from one of the 3 sets. I'll list it down here so that you can see. Everything's going to be linked below too. So what I've done is I've just snipped out a couple of the leaves here and there, and I'm using the lacy and the solid ones as a juxtaposition. Now I've got my background here. It's just a piece of purple paper, and I'm using an old sewing tool to make sure I've got this evenly on my card. I also added a little bit of a corner to my page here with just some shimmery white, and then I added a bunch of dots in the center of my flowers with some of that pops of color in white, an essential tool to have in your craft room. So I'm lining this up, and it's going to be one of those off-kilter kind of cards where the rim of the card base is not the same on all sides. I don't know what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. So you're not trying to make it so that it's perfectly even. And then I have this Great with Sympathy from our friends at, yes, Aussie, our friends at Simon Says Stamp. That's one of their sentiments. So I've done the same thing with the little tiny dots of Tombow Mono Multi. Let them dry. That way they're not going to squish out. And then you can stick them on just like they're a little sticker. I am going to use some art glitter glue to put the tittle on. You know what? Whether you put the tittle on or you don't put the tittle on, I don't think it makes a whole hill of beans. Like, I've never looked at a card and went, geez, it would have been better if you had a tittle here. So a dot, who cares? But that's my card. I think it turned out mighty nice. Now, I know that I've shown you some kind of more out of the box ways of sculpting your flowers and making them different, but sometimes it's just the combination, how you layer your things together, the color that you use. The best thing I can recommend is every flower that you have in your collection, be they punch or be they die, cut them out and have them so that you can piece them all together and play with them and see what's gonna happen. It's like decorating, it's like dressing, it's like picking out jewelry to go with your clothes. All of this is decided by just trying it. Put one thing with the other and give it a go. See how it looks. See if it's what you like and go from there. You can see how even just layering these two one on top of the other completely changed the look of it. And now if we have it pink, again, it changes the look of it. Just audition them. Now, one of my teammates on my design team at Scrappy Tales designed a card. You have to go check her out. I'm going to link her in my drop down with also all of the products as well, affiliate links, which help me if you are going to go shopping. Thank you very much in advance. Hey, hit that thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe too. But anyways, you have to check out her card because that's how this card was inspired. And although they ended up fairly different, hers is just stunning. She has one heck of an eye for putting cards together. She's wow. She's a designer who blows me away, card designer. So don't forget, you can also cut your leaves apart. This leaf set actually comes from the Stitched Daisies set, as does that really awesome, I don't know what you call it, the white piece that's behind the centers of the flowers. And then the Happy Birthday is from the Retro Birthday Blooms, which I love. I can't say enough about all three of these flower sets and how amazing they are and how much thought were put into the design that went behind making these. I just love them. But do get your stuff out and give it a try. Try them in all kinds of different colors. And, you know, don't be afraid of your supplies. Embrace what you have and try things. That is the best thing you can do to become really, really skilled at this, this hobby that we have. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you get some time to craft, and don't forget to leave me a comment and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.